शाज़िया, आपके लिए क्या था सबसे ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग?
सबसे ज़्यादा चैलेंजिंग था to tell. I mean, in the current atmosphere, it's very difficult to even utter the word Hindu and Muslim. It's a big thing. Like just to utter the word Hindu and Muslim has become so political.
It may take your whole life, it may take fighting against society, your family, but you have to stand up for love, because ultimately love है तो सब है.
Love है तो सब है, क्या बात है.
Actually Rocky Rani से है तो.
As filmmakers, are you scared of saying certain things today or showing certain things?
I'm scared of saying it now only.
Radio Nasha.
हाय, परी हूँ मैं एंड यू वाचिंग अस ऑन रेडियो नशा. एंड आप ऑब्वियसली ये वीडियो शायद देखोगे आफ्टर वैलेंटाइंस डे, बट हम बैठकर बात कर रहे हो ऑन वैलेंटाइंस डे. लव तो नहीं मिल रहा, लव स्टोरिया से ही काम चलाना पड़ेगा. वेलकम टू रेडियो नशा, कॉलन, अक्षय एंड शाज़िया. सो सबसे पहले बिफोर वी गो इनटू ईच ऑफ योर इंडिविजुअल स्टोरीज, कितना मज़ा आया ये करके. लाइक व्हेन आई वाज वाचिंग आई हैड अ स्माइल ऑन माय फेस थ्रू आउट. हाउ वाज इट फॉर यू, Shazia?
The journey of shooting the whole film.
Yeah, like just the experience of,
Like I said, it was a life-changing experience. Like, the experience that you have in shooting fiction is very different than the one in documentary. Because the moments, like especially for our couple, we were revisiting places and seeing them, reconcile with their family members after 50 years. And that's a kind of moment it's very difficult to recreate in fiction. It was, there was a moment, there are many days, in fact, many moments where everyone in the crew was crying at the same time. Like they were crying and we were crying with them. They were laughing and we were laughing with them. So it was a journey when for us, that whole experience became bigger than, oh, we are making a film.
Yeah, it was enriching. I feel like जैसे भी कभी एक रिलेशन को देखते हैं, रिलेशन ऐसे लगता है कि हम बहुत सारी चीज़ें ग्रांटेड लेते हैं कि ये तो लोग साथ में ही रह रहे हैं. लेकिन साथ में रहने का जो सफ़र होता है वो पूरे 30 साल का, 40 साल का, वो किस तरह से अनफोल्ड होता जाता है. एंड वो देखना बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग था. एक डिस्टेंस रख के भी और एक प्रॉक्सिमिटी अचीव करके भी, लाइक कैसे हम उसको उनके नज़दीक भी जाना है और उनका एक डिस्टेंस रख के उनके रिलेशन को भी देखना है. So it was challenging and fascinating also.
Yeah. And Colin?
I think, documentary बनाना is such a huge responsibility. But बहुत बड़ा privilege भी है. You get to tell the story, and in our case of a couple and their love story. मतलब इतनी बड़ी responsibility. पर actually हम सारे couples को अभी इतनी अच्छी तरह से जानने लगे हैं. They've become our friends and they trust us to tell their story. And that makes it very special. तो तब भी मजा आया था, अभी भी मजा आ रहा है आपसे बात करके.
Yeah, and I was just thinking कि ये real people हैं, right? They're not like actors, except the part जहाँ पर आपने recreate किया है, shown the younger version of them. But besides that, वो actual real लोग हैं. क्या वो conscious थे कैमरा पर? नहीं,
बिल्कुल नहीं.
Because वो लग तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं रहे थे.
बिल्कुल नहीं. I think वो they trusted us, एक तो, and they are saying something so personal about themselves कि like Akshay said, after a point the camera vanishes. And
also, like, I think all our couples have that bit of a spark where they are very uninhibited, and that comes across in the series. Like and especially the women in all couples, like, they are like firecrackers.
Yes. Yeah. No, because I thought so, like मेरे को बिल्कुल भी वो hesitation या कुछ भी नहीं लग रहा था. In fact, मुझे उनकी आंखों में दिख रहा था that they were so happy that somebody is asking them about their story, and they were keen, बहुत candid मुझे लग रहा था. कैसे, like, how did you guys kind of come on board for this, each one of you?
Showrunner Somen Mishra asked, like, there is one Instagram page, India Love Project, and there are these beautiful love stories all across the country, and you have to choose which resonates with you and how you find personal connection and like what story challenges. So out of it, like, we came on board as a director.
I think we are lucky to be
Yeah.
chosen
Yeah.
by
Go for
Nisha
it, yeah.
So
to
basically
tell the
आपकी जो
stories.
कहानी आप लोग each one of you the stories it also kind of अगर वो कहानी देख ली तो हमें समझ आ जाएगा कि what is your belief about love हाँ each one of you because you chose the story ना कुछ तो दिखा होगा इसमें ऐसा जिससे आपने relate किया होगा मे बी वो personal point of view से या फिर एक फिल्म मेकर के point of view से भी
ट्रेलर में आया है देयर इज अ लाइन व्हिच सेज कि असली प्यार को लड़ना पड़ता है एंड आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ आवर स्टोरीज यू नो शो दैट
Exactly.
It's not easy.
Exactly. And this is the exact thought that I had when I watched the stories. I was like, oh my God, there's just so much happening in their lives, right? मतलब आग का दरिया हर रोज
Yes.
पार किया जा रहा है. So I was just thinking कि, you know, have we stopped fighting for love? What do you guys think?
I hope not. I think this show is meant to be hopeful and not cynical. ताकि मतलब at least Valentine's Day पे भी बैठ के अगर लोग देख रहे हैं तो they find some hope कि yes, someone
Get rid of
somewhere is
skepticism.
out there for you. It may take your whole life. It may take fighting with against society, your family, but you have to stand up for love because ultimately, love है तो सब है.
लव है तो सब है क्या बात है ओहो ये अभी अभी निकली ना ये लाइन अभी अभी क्रिएट किया
Actually, रॉकी रानी से है तो.
oh yeah I just realized oh yes अच्छा ये लव स्टोरियां became popular was it 2022
Yeah.
2022 था क्या वो
Yes.
The master was
time
23 या 20 अभी आ ना.
मेरे बहुत weird है time zones after COVID my time zones
22
are like
correct.
22 ना so after that ये स्टोरियां became like
Yeah,
oh
it
my
got
god
trolled,
the
the word got trolled, but I thought it was Amitabh
Yeah.
Bhattacharya is one of the best lyricists we have.
Yeah.
I love the word. That was actually
बिल्कुल.
surprised कि क्यों word इतना troll हो रहा है.
हमने reclaim कर दिया title
हमने
को.
reclaim कर दिया.
ये किसका आइडिया था ये टाइटल like
I
love
guess
story
Somain. I guess
तो मैंने
Somain, yeah.
Somain Mishra और Shoran.
Somain should be happy we're talking.
Yes. एक और कॉमन चीज आप तीनों की स्टोरीज में है द बैकग्राउंड एंड द बैकड्रॉप ऑफ कैलकटा आई थिंक इट्स कॉमन इन ऑल थ्री स्टोरीज
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
है ना?
That is true.
Yes.
एंड आई रेजोनेटेड विद इट अ लॉट बिकॉज मैं कैलकटा से हूँ तो आई वाज लाइक क्या बात है यार प्यार वहीं पर है क्या सिर्फ शुड आई गो बैक शुड आई गो बैक टू कैलकटा बट इट्स वंडरफुल यू नो लाइक आउट ऑफ देयर आर 6 स्टोरीज
Yes.
एंड लाइक तीन का तो मेन कोर कैलकटा है
Trilogy.
it's wonderful so what is it about that place you were there and ये कुछ है उस शहर में
For us, हम जब first time couple की daughter से मिले स्वाति से,
हाँ
she said it herself. Calcutta is a city of love, and the opening line of our film. That's how we thought. Let's give a homage to the city because this, disparity between faith and this and that. She said it largely doesn't exist in Calcutta, and we found our opening line with what she said.
yeah
So
हर
I
faith
love
के
the city. I love the food.
Yes.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is romance in the air. Sorry for the cliche, but
no it's
yeah,
true
there is something.
and one
about
of the
that
reasons
city.
is because वहाँ लोग भाग नहीं रहे वहाँ बहुत वक्त है लोगों के पास
प्यार करने का भी वक्त
है ना प्यार करने का भी वक्त है वहाँ पर या तो आई मीन
Calcutta is actually such a beautiful city और मेरे story मतलब I thought it's a very very tolerant space for the LGBTQ community. मतलब हम जब regular spaces में जाते हैं in Bombay and Delhi you do not see such a queer representation, but when you go into Nandan cinema you go somewhere there's a very vibrant society in Calcutta, like you said, all faiths, all genders, all communities. So maybe there is something to be said about the city and call it the city of joy, love.
And city's visual structure is also very beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very romantic.
कहीं भी camera रख दो that Victorian architect and that oldness and nostalgic.
Yeah.
It has something.
Colin, coming to you, your story is about a topic that हम बहुत प्रोग्रेसिव हो चुके हैं इसको लेकर कॉन्वर्सेशंस हैं बट अभी भी मुझे लगता है देयर इज सम विथड्रॉल फॉर श्योर एंड सम रिस्ट्रेन तो जब आप ट्रांस लव दिखाते हो क्या सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज होता है लाइक आर यू कॉन्शियस ऑफ सर्टेन थिंग्स
Absolutely. मतलब मेरी बहुत बड़ी responsibility थी कि I present the story very sensitively. And every trans person to take that decision to completely transition and change your gender is a huge, it has huge psychological impact. A lot of them are, go through a complete different change. They go through body dysmorphia and everything. But when I met Teesta and Deepan as a couple, they were so positive and they had lived everything that I wanted to tell, that heartwarming story, you know, to show that it's possible to go beyond all of that and live a regular life now. Deepan works in a bank, Teesta runs an organization that still helps trans people. And I think telling the story through Dharma Productions, Dharmatic Entertainment, it's very important that it reaches the widest audience. So I think it would be amazing if people actually, you know, we definitely need more space in the mainstream for queer stories and LGBT stories.
Absolutely. And I was so happy जब मैंने सारी stories देखी, and I was like, oh my god, like finally, thank you. So thank you for including this part, because ये fight तो हमेशा से यही रही है ना, that we have left this section out when it comes to love or anything. So thank you for making this story a part of this anthology. शाज़े, आपके लिए क्या था सबसे ज़्यादा challenging?
सबसे ज़्यादा challenging था to tell, I mean, in the current atmosphere, it's very difficult to even utter the word Hindu and Muslim. The things that me and my co-director, we are trying to say, it's a big thing. Like just to utter the word Hindu and Muslim has become so political. Like also people are so aware of their identities now that if you're telling a story of interfaith relationship, how do you make that film without saying the word Hindu and Muslim?
True.
And we wanted to, but we've not said it in a way that it's very political and in your face. We've said it in a way that, the way Farida says, so what if he was a Hindu? He was just a person. And I think that's a conversation we should not shy away from. Otherwise, we'll all start repressing our identity, right? Also telling a story which is 50 years long and, there was a war that they were coming out of and the whole thing was about their identities and how, like for Farida, right? Farida's been more at the receiving end of, like, leaving her country, her parents, her, even her name for that matter. Imagine leaving your name, like being called one person and then you have to leave that name and change it to another name of another faith. All of this was like biggest challenge and we wanted to do it sensitively where they are happy with it mostly.
I think you touched a very important point. As filmmakers, are you scared of saying certain things today or showing certain things?
I'm scared of saying it now only.
No, because जो आपको रिस्पॉन्स मिलता है वो काफी क्विक है बिकॉज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया, राइट? इमीडिएट है, तो मतलब आपको वेट भी नहीं करना पड़ता है, लाइक इट्स आउट देयर एंड द रिएक्शंस आर देयर एंड प्लस not everything is taken in the right spirit or in the way it is supposed to be taken. So as filmmakers, are you like extremely conscious abhi?
No, I am not. But people around me are scared of what I'll say. So, it's like, ye mat bolna. But I feel it's death for a filmmaker, storyteller. The moment we start self-censoring ourselves, I think that would be the end of us. And it's been a bit of a struggle in last few years, Things have been challenging for us कि क्या बोल सकते हैं, नहीं बोल सकते हैं. But I think वो एक consciously hold करना चाहिए अपने voice को. कि कुछ भी हो जाए इसको तो नहीं compromise करेंगे, उतना तो करना पड़ेगा. It's difficult. It's tough time to be a storyteller, but I think उतना तो hold on करना चाहिए अपने voice को and to be true to yourself. Otherwise, what are we? Why are we even telling stories?
Absolutely.
But वो consciousness creep in हो चुकी है, I think, unfortunately.
Editing should be there, like editing in a human.
हम उड़ा देंगे.
Very short anecdote. I had made another short film before this, and it was like a bit of a controversy. And there was this student. The film was screening at a Delhi college, and the student, she came, and there was a big heated argument going on. And the student, she came and gave me a paper chit, and it said, "Art is meant to offend people," and that was the gist of it. It's meant to change society. It's meant to offend people.
गालिब का एक शेर है कि गर्मी सही कलाम में लेकिन न इस कदर की बात करने वाले ने शिकायत जरूर की. मतलब इतनी जगह रखो कि शिकायत करने को तो जगह दोस्ती रहे.
Exactly.
क्या बात है.
तो फिल्म मुझे लगता है कि उस तरह से अगर
storytellers cannot be conformist.
Absolutely.
There is a
हम भी समझ रहे हैं, हम मैसेज भी नहीं देना चाहते फिल्म के थ्रू, क्योंकि मैसेंजर नहीं है हम कोई, हमें ही कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा लाइफ का, हम समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। हम कौन मैसेज,
हम कौन है ज्ञान देने वाले? Absolutely, बिल्कुल।
मैसेज नहीं देना है, समझना है सिर्फ।
Yeah. On a funny note and end with this, I think हम सबका idea of love somehow or the other is shaped by obviously the relationships that we've seen in our individual families and spaces, but also with what we've seen on screen. हमने जो पिक्चरें देखी है बहुत आइडिया शेप किया है उसने. लाइक यू नो, आई एम अ 90s kid, so I grew up in the era of romance where there were like big gestures of love. जब शाहरुख की आंखों में सब खो जाते थे, मतलब वो बार हाई यहाँ तक चला गया था. So yeah, what has been your like have you been influenced? कोई मूवीज ऐसी है जिसे देखकर आपको लगा यार प्यार तो ऐसा होना चाहिए?
यार बचपन में तो DDLJ ही था, लैंडमार्क मूवी which was like
Europe trip पे जाना, finding love,
finding love in the train, all of that. Yeah, very I mean well romantic. अब थोड़े skeptic हो गए.
हाँ, अब हमें वो cringe लगता है. ना लोगों को अभी वो चीजें cringe लगती है.
रोबोट से काम चलाना.
Yeah, I like it. Akshay, what about you?
हाँ कुछ नहीं, यही बचपन में फिल्में देख के, चित्रहार के गाने देख के, फूलों से फूल टकराता है, वही प्यार. एंड दैट इज weirdest form of showing I think attraction I've seen.
I think here we
in
have to
Hindi
make a
cinema.
mention of our production house.
Yeah, Dharma production.
Really?
Karan Johar films
shaped our idea of
romance
and
yeah.
love. And for me, Kuch Kuch Hota has been a huge influence. Everyone thinks they're Anjali only, na? I don't
प्यार
think
दोस्ती
anyone
है.
thinks Tina, तो हर दोस्त, I mean, you make a friend and you think कि प्यार हो गया, when it's not true.
Correct. That's true. But it was nice, na? We went from लड़का लड़की दोस्त नहीं हो सकते to प्यार दोस्ती है. Yeah, like it was nice.
और प्यार एक ही बार होता है.
हाँ,
एक ही बार होती
but उसने 2 बार शादी की थी. No, but it's fun, you know, when I look back, I think कि यही वो कहानी है, stories हैं that we miss today, you know, like how you were saying कि the idea of Love Storiyaan is to give people hope, you know, is to make them smile, it's to move them, it's to touch them, and I think good art does that. Good art moves you, it makes you think कि
Art must comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfort.
Oh, I am disturbed and comforted both at the same time. So I think you guys have done a great job. सबसे पहले thank you for bringing these stories to us. 2024 में बहुत ज़रूरत है in Love Storiyaan की. And I feel that, you know, what a great platform, right? जब हम documentary filmmakers की बात करते हैं, बहुत कम ऐसे chances मिलते हैं. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely,
या ऐसा platform मिलता है जहाँ पर I mean, it's huge, it's big, है ना?
I think documentary as a format needs more mainstream love. And लोगों को और देखना चाहिए. Like in the US, documentary is a huge format. There's a lot of money flowing into it. That has to happen here in India as well, because of course the story and the truth of real life people is far more, I mean, I'm not saying far more interesting than fiction, but it's really touching to see real people and their struggles and the conflicts and everything. So
real life like situations are more dramatic than any film scenario.
That's true.
And it's great, this is out in 200 plus countries, so
everyone
can watch it.
Everybody can watch it. And thank you so much for being here. It was so lovely having you in the studio. All the very, very best. And lots of love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Radio Nasha.